When thinking back to childhood, I'm just really in awe of how innocent we all are, how we're just a clean slate of which to learn. In the song My Skin, I write about when you're younger, when you're 13 or 14, you can't wait to be 17, you can't wait to be 18 or 21, you can't wait to grow up and just be so much more. And then when you do get to be 21, 22, 30, 35, you start dreading the thought of being 40, 45, 50. As the days come when we're younger, it's about growing. As the days come when we're older, for some reason it's about dying. The song My Skin is about youth.
I see forest, stars in the sky at night. I am dreaming, I dream as a child when I was allowed, when all was simple, when nothing could penetrate my skin. I see you when frowns were stranger than smiles, unworn faces full of life, not weary. I long to return. I want to still wonder. I want nothing to penetrate my skin. We were younger then. Each day came, more we would grow, but we are older now. And each day that comes takes more of my life away. Unscramble this whirlwind of thoughts in my head. Competition forced into deceit that trusting allows. Real me. Let me grow in a world of childhood innocence, where nothing can penetrate my skin. We were younger then. Each day came, more we would grow, but we are older now. Each day that comes takes more of my life away. couldn't feel it or picturing it gone. Love, rescue me now. Hold me tight so that I never forget. And nothing can penetrate my skin.
The concept of the world inside was my theory that we're all two different people. We're the person that we show to the public, to everyone else when we walk out of doors, and we're a totally different person when we're home, when we're alone, when we're dealing with our own thoughts. And we deal with things quite differently. Needless to say, it's much more honest when we're by ourselves. With that thinking, I wrote The World Inside. The piece The World Inside is a 10-minute song that goes through all the superficial things that we choose to make a part of our life and ends dealing with the real things. Making The World Inside was really tough because I had to be very, very honest. I had to admit some things about myself that most people never admit to anyone. And I've had a lot of folks come up to me and say, "You're exposing yourself to everyone. How does it feel?" Well, it feels really good. My favorite album is Lou Reed's Berlin record that he did in 1973. And I think the reason being is that it's not a collection of songs. The songs on this record are more like chapters in a book. And it is one complete idea, one theme that has a beginning and an ending. And I took a lot from his Berlin album in the making of The World Inside, because I very much did not want to make an album that had 8 or 9 singles on it. I wanted to make one cohesive piece of work that was more like a book with 15 chapters. We're not a rock and roll band. We play electric guitars, but I take total offense to be locked in at the record store, the same category as Bon Jovi or something like that. I say put us, as pretentious as this is going to sound, should just stock our records like, in bookstores or, over someplace else, make our own section. Father Sing is based on a story, a real life story that a very close friend of mine told me about her relationship with her father. He passed away when she was very young, and her only memory of him was that he played songs to her on this guitar. After he passed away, the guitar remained in the house, and every time she saw it, it reminded her of him. She still thought of her father and drew from him the strength that a father always shows to a family. That was her symbol of strength. Well, I can't relate to this story. My father is alive and healthy and happy. And I had to put myself in her place and write from her point of view. And on the day that I played the song for her, I don't think I've ever been so nervous in my entire life to hear somebody's response, to see if I had indeed captured it like it felt. I told her not to tell me, because I didn't really want her to just say it for the sake of saying it, that I had done a decent job. But when I listened to it, it reminds me of the night that she told me the story, so I figure that's about as much as I can ask for.
I am a child, but I am growing, changing, training my thoughts to be. I am the seed, encouraged to dream. and nourished with food from your heart. I want your love. I want to know who you hate and why. I want everything, good and bad, all of you inside me. Protect me, you make me aware that the love inside these walls won't always exist outside. My symbol of strength, all powerful in my life, disappeared, and I cried. But I remember the first music I ever knew. I hear your voice, I feel you here. Father, sing the song that still makes me cry from years ago. When you sang to a little girl, you sing to me still, with a voice so loud and strong. Father, though you are gone. Father, sing the song that still makes me cry from years ago. When you sang to a little girl, you sing to me still, with a voice so loud and strong. Father, though you are gone, you remain with me.
The biggest misconception is that our band is a gothic band, and the second misconception would be that we are a depressing band. I think that we are very realistic in our songwriting. There are 15 songs on The World Inside. There's one cover song that we did, Times Square, by Marianne Faithfull, which she did so wonderfully on A Child's Adventure. From time to time, people will say that we're overdramatic, and I just have to answer them by saying that life is overdramatic. The way that I express things on stage are the way that I feel it in real life, and the way that I see the people that I'm close to reacting to those things in real life. Nothing to do with being over dramatic. It has more to do with just the feeling of the pain or the feeling of the happiness. Well, I know that the most important thing in my life is love, the feeling of love, whether it's myself and my mate or it's myself and my mother and my father. And I know that I don't always do what necessarily would keep the person or persons close to me. I think that it's our nature to be selfish. We always look out for number one. God, I've tried so hard to not have that be the case in my own life. But I can't say that I've succeeded, because I live a very selfish life. I don't have a wife and kids or anyone that I sacrifice for. I record albums as my form of self-expression. I feel like in a lot of ways it's the only way that I can communicate to someone else. I'm not a very open person in public. I don't have a lot of really close friends, but yet I think we all feel a need to tell everybody what we're feeling, what's going on in our lives. I'm just not one to do that in any way but song. That's why I write songs. Also, I write songs because I feel music is the most powerful way to give emotions, the emotions that you're feeling. I felt it from so many people. I feel it from people like Tom Waits, Leonard Cohen, the early David Bowie, Lou Reed, his Berlin days. That's what drew me in and made me start expressing myself that way. I needed someone to point me on the path, and I was pointed on the path by those people I just mentioned. On the song Tears on the World Inside, I sing about being away and the tricks that your mind plays on you when you are away from someone, when you're trying to picture what they're doing without you, things like that. I think I captured it. Look into a stranger's eyes. Living a lie, the hole keeps getting deeper. See the shapeless form where a man once threatened to grow. I looked into a mirror one day and realized at that particular time in my life I did not even understand what I had built, what I had made of myself. We all go through points where we're very, very strong and very, very weak. This is a very weak point for me. I felt like I was responsible for putting together something that I didn't even understand. See the shapeless form where a man once threatened to grow. So much potential into what you can make yourself, and sometimes we don't allow ourselves to live up to that potential. I had made a lot of mistakes. I had not learned from a lot of those mistakes. And I would like to think right now that that song got me through that point in my life and has now allowed me to learn more when I do make a mistake and to make the next day better because of the last.
Standing on a stack of your thoughts, alone once more, staring at a lifeless body, wondering aloud. Am I so blind not to see it coming, answered inside by the simple dropping of your head? Look into a stranger's eyes, fall into his trap. Curious and intrigued, let down his wicked path of deception. The hole keeps getting deeper. See the shapeless form where a man once threatened to grow. See the shadow of love where eternity surely would have blossomed in the pile of past. All the lessons never to be learned. Look into a stranger's eyes, fall into his trap. Curious and intrigued, let down his wicked path of deception. Oh, deception. Oh. Temptations cross, make a powerful man weak. On coward reasons, name another who would be so strong. You mistake a tomb or a castle, a dead weight of sand, a gold and slab for a moment, a fleeting moment could erase your greatest fear. No, look into a stranger's eyes, fall into his trap. Curious and intrigued, let down his wicked path. Look into a stranger's eyes, fall into his trap. Curious and intrigued, let down his wicked path of deception. Oh, deception. Oh.
My greatest accomplishment. I would like to sit here and break out an old matchbook cover with just the most intense piece of poetry that I've ever written. But not being a liar, my greatest accomplishment ever is I was 17 years old and I was playing wide receiver for a football team in my town, and we were on our 10-yard line, and we called the reverse, and the reverse was to me, and I got the ball and I ran 90 yards for a touchdown. Well, one of my friends on the line was holding, and so we got penalized half the distance to the goal, and we called the same play again, and I ran 95 yards for a touchdown. That's the best thing I ever did. Let's be real about this. One of my favorite lines that I've written up to now, ever optimistic that I'll come up with another verse or two in my life, is the line, the second verse of This Tangled Web. I say, for love, at once my shield and terror, both my destination and my cause for living today and wanting to die tomorrow. And I question, why is my whole life spent chasing that demise? It was the first song of mine, of which I was able to put on the turntable and listen to for pleasure, just over and over again. And when I say pleasure, I use that term loosely. It's about a tough time in my life. It's about things I don't understand. The song was originally called Reasons, and I wanted to know the reasons for. The reason that we search so hard for a mate, that we need to have that bond, or most of us do. The reason for caring. And it's a song where I talk about something that is kind of a consistent topic in a lot of my material, memory. I think it's one of the most deadly things, what this thing up here does to you. The simple act of recalling something puts that hole right back in your stomach as you felt when whatever event happened. Now, This Tangled Web is a real honest song to me. What are the reasons?
Caring is a breeze that blows by and returns only when it wants to. So cry, little angel, forever, because you can't wrap your arms around the wind. Within lie the reasons for this tangled web we weave. For love, once my shield and terror, destination and cause for living today and wanting to die tomorrow. Why is my whole life spent chasing my demise? You can't wrap your arms around the wind. Within lie the reasons for this tangled web we weave. see the tortured lines from days gone by. But I was never touched. These scars have risen from within me. For memory, take a knife, it's quicker. Plunge it deep into my soul. Go ahead, make me a weaker man. And cry, cry, little angel, forever. Because you can't wrap your arms around the wind within lie the reasons for this tangled web we weave. This tangled web we weave. This tangled web. 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 This tangled web.
The best question that I was ever asked in an interview is probably one of the simplest. It was a two-part question. The first part was, what makes you happy? And the first thing that came to my mind is the first thing I wrote down, which is love. Part two was, makes you sad. And I immediately wrote down that it fades. What is the hardest song for me to sing? There's a few that are so revealing that they're very, very tough. But that's what it's all about. It's about getting up on stage and reliving these experiences so that everyone in the audience feels it exactly as you did. We all fall in love a number of times in our life, with the exception of those lucky ones who find it and never lose it. Well, I wrote a song called A Million Years that it's really tough for me to sing, because at the time that I wrote the song, I was feeling such an appreciation for something, for a situation that I was in, and that situation has since faded. So therefore, A Million Years is more just like a memory to me. It's a pleasant memory, but it's very, very tough to sing the chorus of this song, since the chain of events have led to it being over.
I could wait a million years, look into a billion eyes to find another love like this. I could wait a million years.
Yeah, that's a tough one to sing. Very tough. I don't always write about myself and my feelings. A lot of times I have to put myself in other people's places, which is the case on the song Fascination and Fear. I was at a nightclub one night in Los Angeles, and I noticed a young boy, 17, 18, standing about 3 or 4 feet from where the action was taking place. The club was a very sexual club. Anything went. And I saw this young man standing here staring in at the crowd, and it almost looked as if something was pulling him toward it. But he didn't move, because it also seemed like something was keeping him from taking that step. Well, I overanalyze this. I do a lot of things. And I saw this as possibly the struggle between what he was taught by his parents, by TV, by the church, with what he was actually feeling, which is possibly love for another man, possibly a different type of love than what might satisfy me or you or his parents. Fear for what you're taught, fascination for what you honestly feel.
Can never be satisfied, for my love will never be realized. And I can almost feel your heart beating, see confusion in eyes so clear, the line between fascination and fear.
the best thing that ever happened to me in my life. Oh, that would have to be my family. There's another song on the record, the World Inside record, called Fading Away. And that is me dealing with what I see my father as. My father was someone who, and is someone who sacrificed for a family, did the 8 to 5, working really, really tough jobs just to feed us and to put me through school and to give me the opportunity to choose what it was that I eventually wanted to do. And I just know that he would have rather been out doing something else. But nonetheless, he sacrificed for 3 other people. I've yet to sacrifice like that. I've lived a very selfish life, and I'm not saying anything horrible about myself. It's what I've chosen to do. I haven't sacrificed for anybody but me. And it was me looking at my father, seeing his sacrifices, and just being blown away by that. Feeling pretty insignificant at that moment also, that I was thinking about this song. And one line that I wrote is, I can't take the guilt, for I feel like a thief when compared to my father.
I can't tell what is right, what is wrong, what is far, what is near. Can't distinguish between truth, lies I fear. I am fading, I am fading, I am fading, fading away. I can't find my strength, I really don't cherish the search anymore. I'm left without breath from making points I won't make anymore. I am fading, I am fading, I am fading, fading away. I feel no need to borrow the crutches I borrowed before, or to make another speech's theme justifies what I am. I am fading, I am fading, I am fading, fading away. I can't take it easy, I feel like a thief when compared to my father. He fed me then, he feeds me still. What have I ever done? I am fading, I am fading, I am fading, fading away. I am fading, I am fading, I am fading, fading away.
Human Drama did an album called Feel in 1989. The Feel record is very responsible for what I wound up doing on The World Inside. In the same sense, The World Inside has pushed me in another direction. I like the consistent concept of an album. And what we're going to do on our next record is write, or record rather, 10 or 12 songs dealing with the word betrayal and the effects that being betrayed has on our life, how we get into it, how we get out of it, how we benefit, how it's detrimental to us. The most enjoyable aspect of what we do is the feedback that we get from the people, young men and young women who seem to have followed human drama around for the years of our existence. I get a lot of poetry sent to me. I get a lot of letters. People telling me how, for whatever reason, and it makes me very proud to know this, that our records get them through tough times. And I think the reason that our records get people through tough times are not that they're happy or that they're sad or that they're rock and roll or that they're not rock and roll. Our records are about what we all have in common. And I think that when you listen to our stuff, hopefully you know that we are exactly as you are. We have felt exactly what you feel. We're admitting that we're the same as everyone else. We're not on any upper echelon because we're artists or we have a record that you can buy. This just happens to be our outlet.
You